push, but I ain't gon' settle down. I guess I'll call your bluff, boy, 'cause I wanna fool around. Honestly, you got me sick and tired. You play your game, but I see black and you've been dealt a hand of diamonds, but you've always wanted more. You ain't the only one who's hiding behind closed doors. You built your house of cards, boy, and I'm about to knock it down. If my heart ain't good enough, then give me something to care about. Honestly, you got me sick and tired. You play your games, and I see black and white. You've been dealt a hand of diamonds, but you've always wanted more. You ain't the only one who's hiding behind closed doors. You've been dealt a hand of diamonds, but you've always wanted more. You ain't the only one who's hiding behind closed
Final hour in Wild Grove. Waddles in exact 280Cs. Feeling UCC turning it around. With Michelangelo just burning the match on front end. Timothy goes in. Woody picks up the kill and the first. Woody gets taken off.
So no flash away into the post at wala na si Arset.
A bit too low on kill rate. That would be a curse.
No time to talk. This is the final one, and I'm just saying I'm not playing. Take a walk. No time to talk. You've got a long way ahead. You better hear what I say and take a walk.
Welcome back, Summoners. You are watching the 2017 LOL Collegiate League Metro West Conference Series semifinals. We are now in Game 2 of the UCC versus DLSU matchup. We will be your casters for today. My name is G10 coming at you, and this is Chisto.
Yeah, so University of Caloocan City, after getting stomped in the first game, looking to bounce back and potentially tie the series up versus DLSU. Of course, this is a best of 3. Let's see if they have reset, if they are flustered. We just have to see how or what new strategy they're gonna come into during this next pick and ban phase, which we jump right into it.
Yes.
Immediately a Braum ban targeted at Stray.
Yeah, followed by a Vladimir ban on the DLSU part. And DLSU just took the game by the horns in the last game and just gave UCC no advantages. They just did everything right in the early game, in the mid game, in the late game, and they just snowballed the way, literally snowballed their way to victory.
Yeah, looks like they have reset here and have a new plan. Of course, banning 2 picks that contributed to the DLSU win in the Braum and the Orange. Looks like UC just does not want to deal with that, but De La Salle University banning out their own pick in the Kog'Maw. Interesting choice, and UC does jump onto the flex pick Jarvan, which could go to Michelangelo or Raphael. Of course, Jarvan is still one of the strongest picks. Not really that much touch in the recent nerfs during the patches. Of course, the Giovanni was kind of a bit nerfed. Jarvan still up there in top tier junglers. Really good engage, and in a response,
Interesting
DLSU,
here.
one of the best bot lane combos, potentially if it does get locked in. I mean, Sai and Rakan, so much engagement, there's so much mobility for the support, a lot of ways to escape or engage onto the enemy team. And
yeah, exactly. Since Rakan's engage is insanely long, he can get the W and the flash and the W and just charm everybody before just knocking everyone up. And that's basically a free team fight if he plays it right.
yeah, but for UCC, responding with the Janna for the Rakan, Janna provides a lot of disengage.
Yeah, she is the
Though
queen of disengage.
She is kind of weaker now due to the Ardent sensor changes and recent nerfs to her kit during the past patches. And also the Shen, revealing already who the top laner for UCC here is. So a bit of mind games kind of crossed over there. I mean, picking your flex pick first and then showing that what lane it comes to instantly. Kind of a misplay there, but for DLSU, they respond with a Gragas, denying one more potential disengage pick, even though UCC already picked their solo lane in jungle.
Yeah, DLSU here going really heavy on the ADC bans. They are targeting Leonardo here really heavily, banning out the Twitch, the Kog'Maw, the Tristana, and they will be picking up what looks like a Rumble here.
So magic damage in the top lane. Rumble able to bully the Shen during the early levels, but once Shen picks up an item such as a Spirit Visage or so, or Adaptive Helm, he is able to deal with the Rumble in the 1v1, and Rumble's gonna have a hard time in the 1v1 in the long lane once the towers do begin to go down. So for DLSU here, having...
is this a real Yasuo though?
I don't think it's gonna be Yasuo. It will be interesting though to see a Yasuo versus Ahri skill matchup in the mid lane. So a lot of engage potential from the comp of DLSU, and the lock into Syndra.
Yeah, it's going to be a Syndra versus Ahri here in the mid lane. Going to be a lot of balls being thrown. Rumble and Shen here in the top lane. That Rumble does have it for the early game, but once Shen gets his items, as you said, then he'll just be able to get into team fights. He'll be able to deal with a Rumble if they go into the side lanes. But how do you think this is going to play out?
Yeah, so DLSU's comp has a lot of explosive engage potential with the Rakan flashing in and using the quickness, or the Gragas E-flash into explosive cast. As for UCC, they do have safety with the Janna Monsoon and Stand United from Shen, and those are 2 key cooldowns that DLSU has to watch out for in order to dictate the way these fights go. But it looks like UCC has reset. They are coming into this game with a brand new strategy, and it's up to them to execute to potentially tie this series up.
Yes, it does look like Splinter has learned from his previous mistakes. They're going to be picking Ahri here, a champion with a little bit more mobility than Syndra, which Spring did pick now.
This invade by DLSU is spotted out, I believe.
No, it was not spotted out. There is no ward there. Oh wait, I think there was a ward there. There is. Has been spotted out. All 5 of them are there. Stray could get a really nice knock up here if he spots anybody, but they will just...
Badge coming out from Comte.
Yeah,
I have
that
rank
level
5
Xayah. They will just be just leaving UCC's jungle here.
So interesting strat here from both AD carries, opting for the Relic Shield and the Barrier Heal. Of course, with Ardent Sensor Rush not being the most optimal option in this patch, for 7.21, there was a change where rushing Ardent Sensor means it's a weaker early game, but it does scale up the late game.
Yeah, it scales better in the late game, I think.
It's kind of interesting to see that these teams still opted to run into that strategy for the early game. So it looks like bot lane will possibly be passive unless Raphael or Skype opt to gank that lane. But right now, since they're starting on the bottom side of the map, it looks like they opt to go towards the top side because Rumble into Shen is a very volatile matchup in my opinion.
Spring here taking down Splinter to half HP again. This looks like it might trigger a little bit of PTSD here for Splinter from last game.
Yeah, a lot of this mid lane definitely a skill matchup. It's all up to Splinter landing the charm onto Syndra, but Spring having the safety of the cleanse, gonna be able to get rid of that CC. But if Splinter gets ahead in this matchup, Spring is gonna have a hard time actually going for an all-in if Splinter gets possible Merc Treads here to deal with the burst of Syndra.
Yeah.
Let's just wait and see what the junglers do to influence these lanes. So far though, lanes are going normal for all across the board actually.
Oh. Once again, Splinter getting taken down to less than half, having to use both of his potions. Spring not using either one. Spring here, very talented player. He's really showing how he commandeers the mid lane here.
Yeah, and already both pots burned for the Ahri this early means just Spring gonna be able to stay in lane even longer. But Splinter, of course, does have the sustain with the Ahri passive if he does cast a few amount of spells. It looks like he will be bullied out a bit by the Syndra, of course, during these early levels with Spirit Rush not being available yet. Spring does have kill potential. Just wait and see how Sky potentially pats. It looks like he will be clearing Raptors, but Raphael is in the top lane, possibly looking for a lane gank.
Oh, Stray looking for that knockup right there. Will not be getting it. Splinter having another rough lane, but he won't be getting level 2 solo killed unlike the last one.
Yeah, it's really hard to get a level 2 solo kill on Syndra if you do not run the Ignite.
Yeah, which Splinter is running right now.
Yeah, he opted for the more safe pick for Cleanse. What you want to watch out for really here is how DLSU plays around the Stand United cooldown, because once that's up, it's a lot more map pressure for the members of University of Caloocan City. More safety for their lanes once DLSU opts for another bot lane collapse like last game. Skyfa snuck up here though.
He might be able to get something off, but it looks like Michelangelo is wise to his antics.
Yeah, Gulpi kind of telling the gank they're playing over-aggressive and Michelangelo respecting it, but
Oh yeah, he taunts away.
needs to play a bit more safe here until he gets a lot more MR, because Rumble and Gragas is a lot of magic damage in the early game. He's gonna want to first item the Spectre Scowl to give him more regen after the Rumble Q burns him.
Yeah, and actually MR here gonna be a really key stat for Michelangelo, seeing as most of the damage on DLSU is in fact magic damage, with Saya being the only AD threat.
As far as lanes go though, most of this should go even, except for the bot lane, because with Caitlyn's range and Janna being there for more safety and peel, UCC's bot lane is going to be able to bully out the Xayah and Rakan until Rakan hits 6, where they can threaten with that quick engage.
Yeah, that quick engage with the quickness. And Gulpi is going to be pushing Michelangelo a little bit out of lane, but that's fine because he's Shen, he's a tank. Tanks don't do really that well in the early game, but when it comes to the late game, they are a big asset in team fights.
Yeah, across the board, so far even CS, slower early game here, of course, with Splinter not dying within the first 3 minutes. That's definitely an improvement from the first game.
Exactly.
So far, it looks like UCC has reset and they aren't that flustered. Michelangelo hitting 6 soon. He is chunked though, so if he does opt to stand United before he resets, he's going to be half HP to the fight. And I think DLSU can potentially capitalize on that.
Yeah, and also if he does stand United somewhere that Gulpi can see him, Gulpi can lay down his own ultimate so that Michelangelo comes into the fight with less than half HP possibly.
Yeah,
that could be really bad for the Turtles.
Yeah, but once Michelangelo gets a few more items here, he's going to be able to survive the rest of the laning phase versus Gulpi. Unless Skyf wants to influence that by going for a gank. He is bot side though, and he's looking for a gank possibly in the bot lane.
Yeah.
There are no wards from the members of UCC, and I don't expect wards to come out that instantly, of course, with both teams rushing the Ardent Sensor. Sidestone really not on their priorities at the moment.
Neither jungler has really made that much of an impact in this early game. It's been 6 minutes already, and there has not been a single gank, I don't think. There have been threats of ganks, but no real ganks as of yet.
Yeah, I think both teams opted to go for scaling here, just wait for the 5v5 fights to happen. De La Salle wants to fight group, having that beautiful engage with the Rakan Xayah combo. And UCC wants to react to that with their Monsoon. Because for UCC's comp, they want to kite back and peel for Caitlyn because Caitlyn's the biggest DPS threat from UCC. And if Caitlyn gets a few items such as the Infinity Edge, Runon's Hurricane possibly, she can deal a lot of DPS to the members of De La Salle University, having Gragas only as the real sort of tank.
Yeah, especially since even though Gulpy here is bringing Michelangelo, he will not be that useful late game if he doesn't get a big ultimate off. Especially since if Skype here goes really aggressive, really deep, and gets that explosive cast off, but none of his team is really near him, he'll go down super quickly.
Yeah, of course, the Equalizer, one of those really key ultimates if you draft Rumble in them. I mean, you pick him for the Equalizer and the early pressure, and if you're playing Rumble and you're not able to land the key ultimate, the definition of his kit, the Equalizer, you're really just such a useless sort of Rumble.
Yeah, teleport here coming in for Michelangelo, but that is completely fine because he does have his Stand United to get into any fights should DLSU decide to engage.
He already has his Spectre Scowl completed, so a lot more safety for the Shen in lane. It looks like he has survived the early phases of this. No junglers really impacting the lane so far, just opted to power farm through their junglers.
Yeah, it's kind of weird though because both Jarvan and Gragas are really good early game junglers. They chose not to really capitalize on their strengths in the early game and just kind of farm up, get to their tanky power points and just team fight.
Yeah, I do expect the junglers to kind of converge mid lane because as far as the picks go, I think mid lane's the easiest gank for both junglers. If Gragas does go for a gank bot lane, there's the Janna for safety.
Comes in, Spring unleashing his power, first blood going in. It's 8 minutes. The last game, Spring got that first blood at like 3 minutes, and now it's 8 minutes. Still getting that solo kill though. Landing
the Scatter the Weak Stun max range, they're able to pick up the solo kill onto Splinter, and just misplay from Splinter, not being the aggressor in lane, even though he does have kill pressure onto Spring. Spring just pulls the trigger earlier and is able to pick up the solo kill for first blood.
Yes, Splinter there didn't even use his dashes to get out of there. That was even though he does have Ignite, he really hasn't been, playing to that Ignite.
Yeah, I mean, you pick Ignite to win lane. You want to be the aggressor in the lane, and Raphael really hasn't impacted mid lane though, and Spring, during that solo kill, didn't even burn a summoner, so he still has extra safety even if Raphael comes in the EQ Cataclysm combo.
Yeah.
Trading in the top lane though.
Oh,
early flash.
And the Equalizer will be dropped. Will he go down? Gulpy will go down to Michelangelo. That was a pretty good gank there by Raphael. The first gank of the game.
Yeah, good executed lane gank from Raphael there, and kind of a misplay from Gulpy, flashing early, not able to get out of the Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Just seals his fate there. Of course, with the flash burn from Rumble, Splinter can possibly opt to roam top lane, give the Shen even more of a lead. Because once Rumble isn't able to deal with the Shen, it's going to be disaster for DLSU.
Going in, Conti will get the root off onto Leonardo. Leonardo kiting back though, the headshots will be stacking up, and the Stand United and heal used. Skyf is on the wings, off on the wings here. That was a good disengage though, but actually, Raphael getting a kill onto Spring in the mid lane while we were watching that fight.
Yeah, I think Scatter the Weak was still down. I think he used it during that fight, but so far, Raphael with his Jarvan pick really turning up well for the early game of UCC. And like I mentioned before, with Raphael impacting the solo laners of UCC, giving them more relief pressure in these matchups, once Rumble isn't able to deal with the Shen in the side lane, it's going to be really hard for the members of the La Salle University with the split push Shen to deal with the split push Shen during the mid to late game.
Yeah, exactly. And Stray taking a couple of headshots there. Stray has been trying to make plays here down in the bot lane. They have wasted the Stand United. And Michelangelo has no teleport, so if they do want to go for something, then the next minute or so should be the time to do it.
Yeah, of course, with the Stand United being down, that is a window for De La Salle University to engage, but they also have secondary safety with the Monsoon from Janna, instantly knocking back their account once he went in for the engagement.
Yeah.
So far, the picks of UCC working out for them. They're playing to their strengths during this game. It looks like they have adjusted, they have reset, and they are not flustered.
Yeah, they have reset that mindset there. Splinter finally here finding his own, going to be dodging out on those Syndra balls. And yeah, that will be pretty well played here in the early game by Raphael. Skyflow still waiting to show his hand, really.
Yeah, so what DLSU University wants to do here is they want to sort of bait and engage and then burn the Stand United. And once the Stand United gets burned, they have to look for a fight potentially.
Oh, Raphael once again going in. Cataclysm going to go down. Scatter the weak, not scattering anybody. Splinter will go down. Splinter will get the kill on Spring.
So much
Spring will
damage there. Raphael just popping off this game. 100% kill participation, trying to carry his team to a 1-for-1 tie here.
And possibly get the next game. Actually, Skyf was there. He was near, but he wasn't fast enough to respond there. He could have saved Spring if he had gone mid a little earlier.
Yeah, maybe Gragas is a bit too heavy, not able to run as fast mid lane.
That is a possibility, but looks like UCC here will be getting a first free Ocean Dragon off of that mid lane kill.
Yeah, and this Ocean Dragon is going to buff their laning phase even more. It's going to give them extra regen. And having their lanes ahead now, it's just a really great boon for them. It'll help them propel their lead forward. Gold though not that far apart, and if DLSU do find an engage and Michelangelo isn't able to respond quick enough with the Stand United, that could potentially be a window for DLSU to get back into this game.
Yeah, Stand United is up at the moment, so if DLSU does decide to engage, they'll have to just look for an engage to burn the Stand United, and then back off immediately.
Yeah, and that's how you should play versus Shen. You should really respect that cooldown. Unless, of course, you're ahead and you're super confident, you can immediately burst down a target. Don't hesitate to go for that. But with a Stand United safety, of course, you always need to respect that ability because it just provides so much pressure.
Oh, Raphael. He will get knocked back by an explosive gas. Stand United here onto Raphael. Sky still in it. The equalizer has been dropped, but will
Splinter's
not really
first
find
here.
anybody. Splinter's already here. Spring lagging behind a little bit, but he will still not
dodge.
land the Sky of the Week. Ooh.
A bit of hesitation there, I think, from Splinter, not wanting to face check the bush because he didn't really see where Spring was coming from. He might have been waiting in the bush, waiting for a Scatter the Weak stun, but Raphael stealing Raptors ends in a little skirmish, but no kills traded from both teams.
Yeah, important to note though is that the Stand United is down. Comedy though maintaining very low barrier and heal. The teleport though coming in from Michelangelo. They will have to back off from here. Gulpy will get taunted in the top lane. He is very low.
Yeah, and that's the window they needed, but with teleport also being up, the window just gets shut down, shut out from De La Salle University. Even with the Stand United down, of course, that opts your con to look for that quickness engage, but there is the Janamazun. Skype has flanked around though, he hasn't been spotted yet.
Skype this could be really good. Stray will not get that, but he will get the kill onto Donatello. Leonardo here trying to fight for his life, but will get taken down by Comte. And this is what we were talking about earlier before in the first game. Comte is the saving grace of LaSalle. If his solo laners don't do that well, it's up to him to carry the game. And Skyfe is also playing towards that win condition. Get Comte ahead.
Yeah, good use of the blast cone there, and nice deep ward by the red side jungle of UCC. I believe it was Skyfe who plays that before he hopped over the blast cone. And with all these supports rushing Ardent Sensor and Splinter really not setting down vision in that path, they aren't able to spot out the jungler, and they're able to take down the bot lane of UCC.
Yeah, that was a really, really good play by Skype. They knew that there was no Stand United, there was no teleport. Michelangelo would not be in that fight at all, so they just decided to go for it. Even if it kind of looked like Comte was a bit low at the start, Skype was right there for it.
So right now, teams are kind of even in gold here, and I want to see Raphael go back to his proactive early game and look for more of these ganks with the Cataclysm potentially onto the Syndra, which doesn't have a dash, or onto Rumble, who also does not have a dash.
They do have flashes though, so he will, if he does choose to use that Cataclysm, he'll have to burn those flashes before if he really wants that engage.
Cataclysm does come up though faster than
Way
those
faster
flashes.
than a flash, yes.
Right now, things are kind of boiled down, and teams have both reset. Looking at items, already the Essence Weaver completed for Compton, Infinity Edge from Leonardo. Gonna be so much crit damage from those AD carries.
Yes. Saya and Caitlyn are basically what you think of when you think of a crit AD carry. Well, them and Twitch, I think.
Yeah, but in the mid lane, Spring has Morellonomicon, whereas Splinter does not have his yet. I
Not
think
yet.
once he recalls, he'll be able to pick that up. Just wait and see what he opts for. And
Yeah.
so far, across the board, mirrored items from mid laners and AD carries. But in the top lane, Michelangelo already having adaptive helm. Gulpy really can't do much in this matchup anymore because of his early ganks. Michelangelo got enough safety. So now DLS is gonna have a hard time dealing with the split push Shen.
Yes, exactly. And since Gulpy doesn't even have his Leandri's Torment completed, that adaptive helm is just going to negate so much damage.
But of course, no towers have gone down yet, and I really, from both teams, they need to take down a tower potentially so they can begin to move around the map, like make more proactive plays. Because so far, this game has been really, really passive from both teams.
Yeah, I think that's neither of them really want to commit to a big play and then just lose that play, because that would lose UCC their chance to get into the finals. And LaSalle they just really want to play safe and get to the late game. UCC here though doing an admirable job of getting back up from their devastating loss in game 1.
I do like the mindset coming from De La Salle University. Of course, even though they stomped the first game,
They're not being cocky right
they're
now.
not being complacent during the second game, still respecting the picks and the ability of UCC to mount a comeback in this game.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, and we will see what is going to happen later on in this game. Both teams just kind of farming it up for now.
Yeah, this is an incredibly lengthy laning phase, but Skype has snuck up in the bot lane here. There
Oh.
is no flash for Leonardo yet. He will signal back though.
Yeah, but Gulpy does not have his teleport ready. Let's see. Yeah,
If they do opt
Skype
for a
is not
bot
there
lane
anymore.
collapse, Stand United is uphill, and that'll be one of the X factors in an upcoming fight. I think with all the summoners coming up right now and all ultimates available, the next fight will be incredibly explosive. We really have to watch out for that.
Yes, especially since Gulpy's teleport coming up just now. Skype, he really wanted to get that gank into the bot lane, while Raphael is kind of farming it up, looking to lay down a little bit of vision in his own jungle. Has not spotted out the ward, that really good deep ward that Skype has put down.
So let's talk about what the teams would want to do in the upcoming fight. For DLSU, they want to immediately engage onto the Caitlyn and not let the safety tools from UCC peel for Leonardo.
Yeah.
As for UCC, they want to burst down Zaya before the surgery, and they want to kite back.
Yeah, and
They want to use their tools for peel to potentially kite back from the engage of DLSU. And once the initial engage from DLSU is botched, they're going to be able to turn the fight with all their tools.
Yeah, and Caitlyn is one of the AD carries that is really, really known for kiting, along with Lucian, I think. And
Yeah, a
especially
lot
with
of
a
range.
Janna, especially with a Janna to just disengage from anything that that DLSU throws at him. The kite potential from this Caitlyn is just insane. If they don't burst her down immediately, and I mean immediately, then Leonardo will still be up to deal all that damage.
Of course, so Ardent Sensor completed for both supports here. Gonna give her AD carries even more damage during these upcoming fights. And I like the itemization from Raphael, opting for a Locket of the Iron Solari here. Gonna mitigate more of the AoE magic damage coming from De La Salle University for the upcoming team fights. And
Yeah.
it looks like this Jarvan is going to opt to go full tank. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Knight's Vow for more peel for Leonardo.
Yeah, Knight's Vow actually being completed here by Skype for Comte.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Raphael just mirrored that and just let their AD carries do their job, which is carry.
Yeah, actually Splinter
Good
having
dodge.
to dash out of there.
That does mean Spirit Rush is down for the next minute or so.
Next minute or so,
And
yeah.
Sky can look for an engage, but
DLSU
Bot
looking
lane
to
tower.
take this bot tower. They will not get it yet, but will get a lot of damage, taking it to less than 15% HP.
yeah, I'm kind of surprised that
Oh,
Skype is not going to
Skype. He is looking for the play here. Janna does have one soon. There's a flash quickness, and the knockup will not land. Leonardo will be the target of the Stand United. And the Monsoon has been used. Conte will not get taunted. Stray very, very low. Will get taken down by Splinter here at the side, while the Equalizer has split up, but De La Salle going to be taken down. 2 kills already with UCC Splinter very, very low, but Gulpy will just overcommit to that. That'll be a 3-for-1 exchange on the for
Yeah,
UCC.
the Rakan combo here, the grand entrance knockup missing, even though he had the quickness on himself. In the botched engage from LaSalle signals the re-engage for UCC, and the failed dive bottom gets turned instantly with a amazing counter attack from UCC, able to pick up 3 kills for 1.
Yeah, that was really, really good by UCC. And
Now
here we
look
go
here,
for the
look at the
replay.
quickness here. There is no counter play unless you miss the knockup, but UCC
did
able
miss
to
the knockup.
juke out, and with the peel tools, the Monsoon knocking back 3 members, and the Stand United coming in. At this point, the fight is lost for DLSU. UCC able to kite back, and with Splinter and Raphael able to collapse faster than Spring, they're able to clean up the back end of this fight, and there's no more safety for Comte here. When Gulpy flashing into the end here, kind of over-aggressive, trying to pick up the kill onto Splinter, but Donatello shields him, and Gulpy just goes down.
Yeah.
Great counter-attack by UCC.
Yeah, really good response here by UCC. They have played to their win condition in the team fight. Oh, Leonardo actually getting solo kill onto Comte.
Interesting. I wonder how that went down. I wonder if Comte was just surprised by the ranged burst of Caitlyn with the Infinity Edge
Yes.
static shift already completed.
Yes, and if Leonardo gets that headshot, that's a lot of damage that Comte can't really dodge.
Yeah, that's a huge kill here, but even with all these kills coming down, there are no major objectives being contested yet. Only the Ocean Drake, which came from the initial pick mid lane. Gonna miss out on the engage again.
Yeah, Skype here really focusing on the mid lane now that what?
Yeah, it looks
Here.
like this will be first brick coming for UCC. Gonna be able to take first turret gold, a lot more gold into their pockets.
Yes, Cataclysm has been used on Rakan. They De La Salle will respond with another with a tower take in the mid lane.
So let's see.
Here's
I
the
think this is
replay.
a solo kill
Yeah.
onto Compton.
Oh,
Oh, is this Featherstorm just being down in... Oh! The snipe!
barely passing by Stray right
I wonder
there.
why he would use Grand Entrance and not the dash, the E-dash, and just put him right on top of him. That was really, really close.
I think it may have been down.
So great, great precision sharpshooting from getting point and click right there,
Yeah.
doing its job.
Yeah, it was really on Stray there to save Comte, but just by the tiniest fraction of an inch missed the
Just
projectile.
one frame. Gulpy just does no damage to Michelangelo anymore.
Yeah, Michelangelo
He's
is
gonna have a
just
really hard time.
gonna
and
ignore Gulpy right here.
his Skype's ward is still there. I think, I think UCC has been recalling on top of that over and over, and they still haven't cleared it. The ward by the red buff. So
Yeah.
much value for that ward. MVP.
The ward is the MVP, although it doesn't look like it has really done that much for DLSU in these team fights.
Yeah, so now a rotation coming in from UCC, sending the Shen to the long lane. If DLSU opts to match the Shen with the Rumble, Gulpy is not gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
As for UCC, moving their Fed AD carry across the map, looking to siege these towers down really quickly. Of course, Caitlyn, with the recent changes, her headshot now works on towers. So
Oh, yeah.
with the Infinity Edge static shift combo, gonna be able to clear waves fast and gonna be able to take towers fast. With the buff from Ardent Sensor and Janus Shield, giving bonus AD.
Yes, and Gulpy here not having a good time in this game right now. He just kind of feels really useless against Michelangelo at this point.
Yeah, and so far it looks like UCC has been able to reset, and they aren't that flustered even after getting stomped the first game.
Yeah.
It looks like they have settled in, they've understood what DLSU brings to the table, and they've prepared a counter-attack. I mean, that early game from Raphael, picking up the early 3 kills, really relieved a lot of pressure from UCC solo lanes. And
Yes.
remember, with DLSU, from DLSU solo lanes, so with DLSU solo lanes now behind, they're gonna look to rely on Comte. But with Comte dying in the bot lane solo kill after that one frame, that's kind of a tilter.
That has to have tilted him at least a little bit. But he's still 2-2. He still has that safety, but Stray gonna get Cataclysm here. Look at the Charmed flashes out. The headshot, he has to heal through it, but actually
Ooh,
Splinter
just the
styling
tip.
on him. Just the tip, styling on Stray. Just
Stray
that
just
was a really
kind
nice
of
kill.
trying to set down vision, getting caught out. Of course, there is a lot of engage across that Jarvan and a lot of range from the Caitlyn, able to take it down. And I think that pick will signal DLSU to back off because they don't have their primary engage anymore. It looks like they won't be able to stop the siege unless somebody from UCC steps so much forward.
Yeah, Stray had to use both of his summoners to try to leave that fight.
Donatello can just shield Leonardo here and just let him click the tower though with the extended range.
Oh yeah, especially once Leonardo gets his rapid fire cannon, then he'll just be able to snipe the tower from like 2 miles away.
Yeah, but from watching mid lane, look at the bot lane for DLSU. It's being pushed in by the Shen. They aren't able to deal with the Shen split push at this point. In order for Gulpy to be able to force the Shen out of lane, they need to send more than one guy because Rumble cannot 1v1 Shen, and it's showing now.
Yeah, Rumble, Gulpy took like more than half of his health, while Michelangelo, he barely got a dent. That's just insane. Well, it's to be expected with his items, but I don't think Gulpy just really accounted for that kind of damage right now.
Yeah, and kudos to Raphael for letting Shen survive that early level. With Shen able to pick up the Spectre Skull that early into the laning phase, it really relieved a lot of pressure in that losing matchup.
Yeah.
And now the Shen split push win condition is just working out for UCC. And for DLSU, they need to either engage onto the members of UCC, which will prompt Shen to use Stand United, or they need to attack the global from UCC and collapse onto the Shen, kill him in a side lane.
Yeah, but that's going to be really hard since Shen is really, really tanky. And especially to a magic damage dealing team like DLSU, if they don't have Comte here to take down the Shen, then it's really going to be really, really hard. It's going to take a long time for them to even get Michelangelo down low. And by that time, UCC would be able to rotate.
Yeah, UCC playing the 1-3-1 really great here, of course. If you do collapse onto the Ari, she has Spirit Rush to get out. If you do go on the Shen, it opts the rest of UCC to collapse onto the Baron, which is a very valuable objective at this stage in the game. It can really swing the game in each team's favor.
Yeah, DLSU here just not being able to dictate the pace of the game like last time. UCC in the driver's seat for this game.
So DLSU trying to farm up camp here, trying to get what gold they can, because right now, University of Caloocan is just dictating the pace of the game. They have all the tempo, and DLSU just kind of not able to find their stride during this game, not able to look for the engages they want with the Rakan and Gragas combo.
Yeah, DLSU here just has to farm up, I think, and then look for a really, really good fight after Stand United has been used, because that seems like one of the only ways that they can get back, unless they get a pick here on the Splinter.
Banshee's Burn, kind of a big win. They have a window there around a minute or so.
Window.
If they do botch the engage onto UCC though, the counter-attack, the re-engage potential from University of Caloocan City is massive. They will crush the fight if De La Salle misses the engage. If they go on Rakan and miss Leonardo or Splinter in the start of the fight, they're just gonna lose. There's no way they're going to win the fight if they botch the initial engage.
Yeah.
Both teams, though, eyeing the Infernal Drake.
Oh, DLSU actually starting the Drake. They have no vision. UCC here showing now. Raphael going to be getting it. He will be out-smiting Sky here. And there's a Cataclysm. The Redemption coming in. Spring very, very low. Comte just trying to get what damage he can. He has been charmed, but he will take it down. And there is the rest of DLSU going to be going down. There's a headshot. Ace in the hole. Shen going to be taking down Spring. Has the flash out of there. Graga still here in the bot lane. They will be taking down this next turret. That's 3 dragons for UCC here.
Yeah. Oh, an Infernal Drake Seal in a 3-for-0 trade in the favor of UCC. It looks like they will be able to take down the bot lane inhibitor of De La Salle University, and Donatello's just stopping them back. Yeah. I don't think they can end here. They can look for one Nexus Tower because the wave clear is down.
Yeah, and
I wonder how long they're actually going to push. They might go for the end here. It's kind of risky though, with Comte being up in 10.
Oh my god, they are risking it. They're going for the end here. Leonardo getting those towers. Donatello here in the bot lane just distracting Skype, not letting him back. Comte is up.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, Spring. Oh, they are going for the win. UCC taking game 2.
UCC fighting back here, able to tie up the series 1-for-1, not letting DLSU just stomp them in. For DLSU, it's their turn to reset. It's now just the best of 1.
Yeah, the next game is going to be incredibly intense. This last game was really slow at the start, but then UCC just got all that momentum. They got all the tempo, and they were able to just use the Shen pick really to their advantage and just deny Gulpy from really doing much in any fight, in any split push he can deal with Michelangelo.
Yeah, and I think the difference from the first game of DLSU to the second game is they played less proactive. They weren't really trying to make something happen in the early game. They played incredibly passive, and that let the members of UCC scale and work to the win conditions of their team come, and they're able to come out on top. And of course, this being a best of 3, going to a third game, it's just now a best of 1, and whichever the teams bring to the table, that will be do or die.
Exactly. And we must not forget that this is the semi-finals. Whoever wins this goes on to the finals to face whoever wins between FEU and PUP.
That's another interesting series.
Exactly. That is actually another one to look forward to after this this next game, which we will be coming back to. Join us for the last game of the UCC versus DLSU semi-final series. We have been your casters for today. My name is G10 coming at you, and with me is Chisto. Will be the target of the Stand United, and the Monsoon has been used. Conte will not get taunted. Stray very low. Will get taken down by Splinter here at the side, while the equalizer has split up, but De La Salle going to be taken down. 2 kills already with UCC Splinter very low, but Gulpy will just overcommit to that. That'll be a 3-for-1 exchange. Raphael going to be getting it. He will be outsmiting Sky here. And there's a Cataclysm. The Redemption coming in, spinning very low. Comte just trying to get what damage he can. He has been charmed, but he will take it. He's taking up. And there is the rest of DLSU going to be going down. There's a head. He's in the hole. Then going to be taking down. Oh, they are going for the win. UCC taking game 2.
UCC fighting back here, able to tie up the series 1-for-1, not letting DL.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.